Hi, and welcome back to part 4 of our Zoom video instructions. My name is Patrick, and in this video I'll explain how to add a contact, start a meeting, invite people to your meeting, and explain some of the other options that you'll have as the meeting host. As always, the steps are going to look a little different depending on which platform you're using. So we're going to start by discussing the desktop version of Zoom, and then the application for mobile devices. Let's start by adding a contact. Open Zoom and log in. Then once the window opens, click on the button at the bottom that says Contacts. Up at the top, look for a gray button that says Add Contact. Click on it and a pop-up window will appear with a box that says One email at a time. Click in this box and type in the email that your contact registered with. Notice that once you finish typing in the email, the Add button will change from gray to blue. This shows that you can click on it, so go ahead and do so. This has sent a request to the user to accept your invitation. Note that they will need to accept it before they show up in your contacts list. Assuming that your contact has accepted your request, let's move on to starting a meeting. Down at the bottom of the Zoom window, find the Home button in the bottom left. Click on that to get back to the main page. Once you're there, take a look at the two buttons at the top of the page. Notice that one says Start with Video, and the other one says Start without video. Don't worry too much about these options because you can always start or stop video once you're in the meeting. For now, let's click on Start without video. That will start the meeting and come up with a pop-up asking if you want to use computer audio or call into the meeting. By default, it will be on the computer audio option, so for the purposes of this video, that's what we're going to use. First though, notice the link that says Test Computer Mic and Speakers. If you click on that, it will come up with a pop-up where you can calibrate your microphone and speaker settings and choose between input and output sources if your computer is connected to more than one. Choose the microphone and speakers that you'll be using, and then click the blue Test Speaker button. If you don't hear anything, you will need to troubleshoot your speakers. Once you hear the music, hit stop. Now click the blue Test Mic button. When you click it, it will change to say recording. Once it does, say something into the microphone and click the button again. Notice that it changed again to say playing. You should now hear whatever you just said. If you don't, you will need to troubleshoot your microphone. Once you're done setting up your mic and speakers, just click the X button in the top right corner of the window. Once you do, that'll take you back to the previous window. Now, click the green Join Audio Conference by Computer button. Great job, you started your meeting. But you can't do much in there by yourself, so let's invite that contact that you added earlier. Since we don't have video playing, you'll see a big Invite Others button in the middle of the screen. However, that disappears if you start video, so the other way that you can invite somebody is from the toolbar at the bottom of the window. Look for the Invite button and click on it. In this pop-up window, notice that up top there are two options, Invite by Email or Invite by Contacts. For the purposes of this video, click on Invite by Contacts, and notice that the options in the lower part of the window changed. You should now see the contact that you added earlier. Click on his or her name, and notice that the Invite button in the lower right corner has turned blue. Click the Invite button. You've sent the invitation, now you just need to wait for the other user to accept it. Good work! We'll end this part of the video by talking about a few other basic functions that you can do when you're in the meeting. Look at the toolbar at the bottom of the screen again. Starting on the left-hand side and working our way across, the first button will allow you to mute your microphone if you click on it. Click it again to unmute. The button next to it will allow you to start video or stop video if you already have it enabled. We already know about the Invite button, so we'll skip that one. Next, as host, the Manage Participants button will pull up a list of people in the meeting. Here you can manually mute any member or assign a custom name to the user. The green Share Screen button allows any of the meeting participants to see what's on your screen, useful if you're working on a document together. The Chat button will open the chat room for the meeting so that you can see what users are typing to one another. Finally, as the host, you also have a Record button. If you click on it, the audio of the meeting will be recorded so that you can listen to it later. Finally, once the meeting is over, You can end it by clicking the red End Meeting button. For the purposes of this video, just choose End Meeting for All. Great job! You can move on to part 5 to learn about scheduling a meeting ahead of time and viewing your upcoming meetings. Or keep watching to learn more about hosting a meeting from the phone app. Let's talk about adding a contact from the phone app. Log into the app, and then from the home page, tap the button at the bottom that says Contacts. To add a new contact, tap on the plus sign in the top right of this page. From the drop-down menu that opens, tap the option that says Add a Contact. In the pop-up window that comes up, type the email that your contact registered with. Then if you're on Android, tap the blue button that says Add Contact. Or if you're on an iPhone, tap the Save button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. This has sent a request to the user to accept your invitation. Note that they will need to accept it before they show up in your contacts list. Also, if there is not a Zoom account already registered with that email, a pop-up window will appear with a button saying Invite to Zoom. Assuming that your contact has accepted your request, let's move on to starting a meeting. Down at the bottom of the Zoom window, find the Meet and Chat button in the bottom left-hand corner. Tap that to get back to the main page. You should see several options on this page, so find the one that says Schedule or Host a Meeting and tap on it. On the next page, by default, Video On will be enabled and Use Personal Meeting ID will be disabled. For the purposes of this video, we will leave those on the default settings. Tap the blue button that says Start a Meeting. If Zoom asks for access permission, just click the Got It button and allow any permissions that it asks for. Great job, you've started your meeting. Now let's invite the contact that you added earlier. At the bottom of the screen, find the button that says Participants and tap on it. Here you will see everybody that's in the meeting. Down at the bottom, look for the button that says Invite and tap on it. Several options will come up for sending an invitation, including email or text message, but for this video, just choose the one that says Invite Zoom Contacts. This will pull up a list of your contacts. Find the one who you added earlier, and tap on his or her name. Notice a checkmark appears next to his or her name, and an invite button has appeared in the top right. Tap the Invite button. You sent the invitation, now you just need to wait for the other user to accept it. Tap the Close button to get back to the meeting. Good work. Let's end this video by discussing some of the other options that you have when you're in a meeting. In the top left, there's a speakerphone button that will either say Speaker On or Speaker Off. Especially if you're going to be using video, you will want Speaker On enabled. You can mute or unmute yourself by tapping the Audio button. The Video button will start or stop video. The green Share button will allow you to share a photo, link, or your phone screen with other meeting participants. The Participants button that you used before also lets you mute or unmute other users if you're the host, and also gives you access to the chat room via the Chats button. Finally, when you're ready to end the meeting, just tap the red End button in the top right and tap the words End Meeting. Great work! You can move on to part 5 to learn more about scheduling a meeting ahead of time and viewing your upcoming meetings.